Hello there, welcome back here on the show. No, I'm actually welcoming you back.
Thank you for welcoming me. Good morning, guys. It's Founders Day.
Yeah.
Yes, and we are celebrating the holiday with you right here on Prime Morning. So please make sure that you're getting interactive with us on all our social media platforms, on Instagram, Facebook, most especially. Just type Joy Prime, no TV, Joy Prime, and get interactive with us. Now, since it's Founders Day, our guest is here.
Yeah.
He's seated. It's not the regular news flash going into what the newspapers or the news portals have for us.
Yeah.
We are going to be talking about what to do to retain knowledge, information in your memory.
Yeah.
And
Very
Godi
necessary.
has been here before. He gave us some tidbits here and there as to what to the 30-7-7 strategy,
which was really useful.
on point. But before we get into it, we have to talk a little bit about Founders Day.
Yeah.
Just a little bit about it.
Earlier I was mentioning, why we're even getting to where we are right now.
Yes.
I mean, it used to be Nkrumah, and His Excellency, the President, thought that, okay, there were others who also supported it, so maybe we can celebrate all of them. There have been issues with leaders, and where we've moved from and where we are right now, and whether or not it's even important that we celebrate them the way we do, because if you've got, and I want to even be looking at the African perspective. If you have leaders in Africa who have been able to gain independence for their people, and a look as if the independence they actually got is even useless, then there's a lot of question marks, because military people will not be taking over their countries if leaders who fought for independence and those who have come after them have done the right things. I'm not sure, people will be fighting and military people will be taking over countries and all of that. For me, it's a bit disappointing for us to, be here. I'm sure other countries also celebrate their leaders who gain independence from them. But the question is, what are we celebrating if successive governments have not been able to make any impact in the lives of the people, where we've gotten to a point where military men are taking over? I don't know what you make of it, Godwin, though, but I think it's been disappointing.
I think you have a point there. I'm also passionate about leadership. But for me, we still need to celebrate our leaders, even though we have a problem, but I'm thinking when we celebrate their achievement, it will also empower other people to follow suit, so for me, it's in order, because leaders, they are a reflection of God. God sits in everybody, so once they've been able to elevate the God in them to do great things for the people, they have to be celebrated. So you have a problem with leadership. I know everything falls and it falls down. Leadership, rises and falls on leadership. If you listen to John C. Maxwell, he tell you this, and that is super true. So we need to look into leadership, and I use a term. There's a phrase, law of in, or a law called law of in. I have 12 principles on leadership. So today is not leadership talk. One is called the law of in. The leader should be in the people should be in the leader. The two should go together. If not, there will be a problem, So we also need to encourage them. As they encourage us, they need our encouragement as well. So we need to celebrate them. And I think it's in order.
The leader being in the people and the people being the leader. I think that's a problem that Niger is having. Because apparently, so I have a friend in Niger, and what he said was that Bazuma, who is the overthrown president, so he wasn't really the one that was governing the country. It was rather the ex-president. So he was controlling Bazoum. He's like a puppet. And that's all. Bazoum he said Bazoum is a good guy. He's a good man. But he's being controlled by the former leader. So it's not really making him have direct contacts with the people. The people are not having direct contact to him because he's still being controlled by somebody who is superior or who has had an experience
how do
before.
we even get to that point?
And that is what has landed Niger in this whole mess.
How do you even get here? People actually trust you, and they tell you to come and lead us, and you allow yourself. I mean, for whatever reason it is, I don't think that if you didn't deserve to be there, the people would put that trust in you and say, okay, come and rule us. You get it? So for you to have even allowed yourself, I mean, even in Nigeria, we've had similar issue where a lot of people even thought that Buhari was not even in position in the first place. He was not the one who was ruling them. I mean, they contemplated on so many other things and all of that. You know, so yes, it's an African problem. But you see, we have a special case over here that, you know, sometimes when you look at some of the things that are happening in this country, you feel like, okay, so was it even worth it? You know, with all the struggle and everything that these people put their lives, you know, on the line for, we're still here, going through all this mess.
But I think it will still take the elevation of the mind for a change to happen. You know, one leader, I wouldn't say a leader, he's divine, Christ. You know, I follow him more through the Bible. You know, when he came, for him to do the things he did, he started with the mind. So if you go through the greatest book ever written, which is the Bible for me, they talk about repent. It came from the word penitri, Latin.
Okay.
To change your mind, to regret. You know, so until we change our mind, nothing will happen for us. If you look into the mind, if you go into the dictionary to look into the mind definition, you see attitude. If you look into attitude, you see mind in there. You know, so it all boils down to the mind, it boils down to attitude, attitudinal change, you know, and we need to start with the youth. You know, you can't do anything without the youth. You know, they are your future. You know, so I keep saying this, but it's time we do more for the youth. It's time we do great things together with the youth. You know, so if anything is going to change, we need to be looking at the youth, changing their mindset.
Awesome.
Have you chanced on the viral video of the young boy who stood for election in his school?
Brilliant.
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 The guy is brilliant. He's brainy. I just like him. Confident. You know, he's epitome of confidence.
Right.
You know, and the way he would just put his
And I personally also admire him for his ability to accept that he lost.
He lost, yes.
You know, which is something that, okay, so most, you know, leaders have exhibited some of these things, no doubt about it. We've gone through processes where legally people have sought to get some redress. It didn't happen that way, and they accept that, okay, this is what it is. So for him, as a young child, you know, coming from that angle and realizing that, you know what, anything could have happened. There could have been reasons why I never got to win in the first place. And so for me, I am accepting that. I'm going back to the drawing board and I'm going to make sure that a few things I've learned, you know, I'm going to put them in practice and ensure that the next time I come again, I don't lose. You know, and I don't know how many kids of that, you know, young man, age and everything, would lose an election, you know, of that magnitude because he really wanted to. And then will come out and say, well, some would have just, you know,
even cried.
Exactly. You know,
I keep saying this, when your mind improves, you don't see adversities, you see opportunities.
Okay.
So even when there are it's an adversity, you see opportunities in there. You know, there's something called the law of polarity, positive, negative. So everything that comes in a negative form also comes with positivity. You know, so when you have that elevated mind, whatever happens to you, you see opportunities in there. And the guy has got that mindset. So I'm thinking we need to encourage him. He can do great things for us.
And whoever that is training him is doing a great job because his mannerisms, his gestures, you know, the hand movements, and I don't know if he keeps on watching our leaders and he's learning from them, or I just can't tell. But anyways, I just wish we would have a conversation with whoever that has personally given him the, you know, the tips that do this, do that, because it's very encouraging. It's very, very encouraging.
All right, so we'll then treat our viewers to also send us, you know, their own understanding of, you know, this holiday. Some people don't even know the kind of holiday they are celebrating in the first place. But really, if you followed the conversation or if you've one way or the other, you know, learned about the Founders Day and all of that, please do well and send us messages and let us know what you think about it. You think that it's worth it? You think that, you know, it's worth
I know the majority of them will say it's not worth it. Because what is going on in Ghana currently.
That's what I want to hear. I know Godwin is here for the positive, but me, push me in the negative. That's where I want to go right now. It's all good.
Right.
Well, so we'll get into our conversation this morning with Gordon.
Yeah. So BECE is upcoming, and we have our children at heart. We have those that are about writing the BECE at heart. And so we started this conversation some weeks back. Gotti was here, and he gave us, like I mentioned, some tips as to how best to learn. And the one that stood out for me was the 37-7 strategy. You learn for 30 minutes, you go on a break for 7 minutes, and then you use another 7 minutes to revise what you learned earlier. And then there's a repetition. So the whole you sitting behind your books,
5 hours.
trying to consume for 2 to 5 hours is totally wrong. Now, Rafi,
So we've been hit there.
You forget everything. It is totally wrong. So for those of you that are prepping to go write the BECE, and then I hope that Gotti will teach us, last minute, that level.
We'll get more practical.
It's just a few days.
Yeah, we get more practical today,
Yes, let's get more practical. And so, Gotti, just a little bit on. Let's go back to the last recap.
Good.
Something brief on the recap.
You're a good teacher.
Thank you.
Get to the classroom.
Yeah. So recap. We do a recap. Yeah. What we did has garnered lots of VLCS. Views, likes, comments, shares.
Yep.
And I think people like it. So it's good we're here to talk about it again. So let's do a recap. We talked about 37-7. Cedia just talked about it.
Yep.
You learn for 30 minutes. You get up a little bit to get more blood to flow to the brain. Then you come back and review your salient points. Then take a break for 7 minutes. Then you repeat the process. But when you do 4 cycles, you've done a lot. You've scored goals, Gordish oscillation. So you need to take a longer break. So after 4 cycles, you could decide to take like 30 or 1 hour break. Just
when you do the 37-7 for 4 times.
Yes, then you take a longer break. 30 or 1 hour. For the brain to reset. It's good for the brain. You could decide to take a nap. Nap is super powerful.
Okay.
Even 10-minute nap could refresh you 100%.
Wow.
So I don't play with my naps.
Yeah.
You remember siesta?
Yeah.
It was good. It's good for the mind.
We didn't even like it.
I'm talking about sleep, the power of sleep today, and show them when they have to go to sleep.
Okay.
Some of them will be studying late into the night.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's wrong.
Wow.
Let me say this again. Studying late into the night is wrong. And I'll bring you the science part.
I guess that's where the thing that everybody's
That's what we get. That's what we've been taught, And we get there and we tend to forget everything, and I'll show them why, and you could do it the right way and still retain more, so we'll talk about it. It's been jotted down. I don't want to forget that one, because that part is very, very important, so we talked about the 37-7. We also talked about how to learn. We talked about the association technique, super. You try to connect what you learn to something. I keep saying this one.
Some examples as well.
Think about the information coming in as a dead battery, connected to a well-powered battery. You know what happens if you have a problem with your battery? What do? You connect to a well-powered battery. Then it starts. So the information coming in, if I can connect it to something I already know, and we gave an example, it could be a story. We gave that story, that imaginative story. Hey, hello, look, BBC now offers free news. It's connected to a story. So that becomes like a memory cue for me. If I'm looking for the 10 elements on the periodic table, my mind will go to that trigger and it comes to me. So we'll be doing more of these ones, and we got into things we do to train the mind. We talked about exercise. I'll elaborate today. Exercise is super powerful. If you want to improve your mind, prioritize exercise. So I don't play with my exercise. Rebounding is good. So some of us, before the paper, we could do some 10-minute, 15-minute exercise. Run if you want, walk if you want, jump if you want, do anything. Do push-ups if you want. It will activate your neurons. It will activate your memory, and information will speed to you when you are in there. And again, we'll be talking about your confidence in there. It's very, very important, because I keep saying this one. It's about learning, or passing exams is about 75% strategy, 25% confidence. So you can have all the strategies, use all of them, but when you get there and you can't maintain confidence, calm state, information will run away from you.
Okay.
And if you have the time, I'll prove this one to you scientifically. You know, I keep supporting things I talk about.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like to talk through my heart. You know, I like to talk through my heart, not through my heart. You know, so I always try to bring some evidence. You know, evidence is the loudest voice, isn't it?
Yeah.
So give them some signs. So that's what we'll be doing today.
Okay.
You know.
So where do we start from now?
Yes, so I think we will do some more practical things. You know, let's do association again in a different form.
Okay.
You know, look at this word, alacritus or alakritos. If you want to remember this, association. So I will tie it to something. Alacritus means quick and eager. So I want to remember this. Okay. Somebody who needs something badly, when they get it, what do? They are quick and eager to use it. They lack something. So when they get it, alacritus. So when you lack something, you get it, you are quick and eager to use it. So alacritus tied to quick and eager, lack, quick and eager. That becomes a strong memory in here. So if you ask me that definition, it comes to you.
Yeah.
Very easy.
You know, I'll bring another method called understanding technique. And under understanding technique, I use a term called etymology approach. Etymology means to dig up the word. Etymology, look for the history of the word. Super, it works like magic. You know, let's use this photosynthesis. We're trying to learn the process. Let's relearn, okay? We did this in school.
Yeah.
Use rote memorization, photosynthesis, a process, just to remember. But you could use this simple method to help you remember. Why not dig up the meaning of the word? Where did it come from? Photosynthesis, where did it come from? Now, photosynthesis, if you break it down, it's a compound word, isn't it? If you break it down, you have two different words. Photosynthesis. Look it up. Where did photo come from? Photo came from the word phos, which means light. Phos, light. Synthesis from the word synthesis, which means putting together. So if I understand this, I know photosynthesis, there's light, sunlight, together with other things to create other things. So if you get this, it stays in there. So you know light together with what? Carbon dioxide, water, to create what? Energy in the form of sugar and oxygen. I know things are coming together to create something. That's the process of photosynthesis. That becomes easy for me to remember. In the whole, if I have to write this, I could remember things coming together. Then the mind will go to work. There's something here called the prefrontal cortex. You know, when I give it that trigger, this one will go to work. It's connected to many parts of the brain, you know, so bring me all the information. So you use these techniques, and if you could maintain calm in there, what you've learned will come to you. That's how come I say sleep is very, very important. So we'll talk about it, you know. Let's do numbers, organization technique. I keep saying this one, when you organize data, it becomes pleasing to the mind. When you organize data, it becomes pleasing, attractive to the mind. Because the mind in its natural state is organized. So when you bring in sensory data in and it's organized, it's pleasing to the mind. It forms strong memory for you. So when you have data, take your time. How can I organize this? Let's go with this number. 10904090809060. 109040. You see, do right because I will ask you. You have 109040809060. Now, if you want to memorize this, pour out the number again. I just have to wash this. There's a pattern in it. I keep saying there's an element of pattern in everything you learn. Okay. If you pay attention. So if I pay attention to this number, what's the pattern? 0, 0, 0, 0, separating them. So take out the zeros now. So in my head, zeros are separating them. Okay. So I have 194896. It's been simplified now. If I want the number again, I bring in the zeros as separators and I have the number. Now again, I could go extra mile. 1948, what can I tie it to? 1942, Eureka, what comes to mind? It was the year of birth of Prince Charles. Now King Charles in England. So that comes to mind, year of birth, 1948, Prince Charles. 96, that was the year, that was the age of his mother before he died, Queen Elizabeth. So if I remember the age of Queen Elizabeth, before she died and the year of birth of King Charles, the number comes back to me easily. So year of birth, year
age
she died, becomes a trigger for me. I just have to remember the 2, and then the numbers I gave, all of them will come to me. You see how learning can be that easy.
So you just have to associate what you're learning to something very practical that you are used to,
something you know,
something you love.
That's it.
Something you like.
I like that part you talked about, because the mind loves to go to what is familiar.
Right. Right.
So if I can connect it to something that is familiar, my mind will run to that.
Yes.
And when it's in that network, when one thing is identified, everything connected to it has to come to you. So it goes to what is familiar, then we'll try to identify everything connected to that thing, then we'll bring it to you.
Right.
Like a dead battery connected to the well-charged battery. You know, so if you know these secrets, learning becomes all easy. When I say this, many people find it hard to ponder, but I'm telling you, learning is easy and fun if you know the tips. You know, and these ones, I'm glad I put them in a book. You know, I put all these techniques in a book to help the students know how to learn. It's called the 37 Secrets to Learning. Okay, so when we have the time, the book is here. We can talk about it. Anybody who needs it, they could get it. It's out now. You know, all these we're talking about are in there. All right, so that's the organization technique. You can also use acronyms to also organize information.
Right.
Super, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, use acronym. I use the Rakupuro. Rakupuro will help you know all the techniques to learning. So association is the A in there. R is the repetition. C is confirmation. U is understanding. P is primacy. U is unique. And R, reason. Another R, recency or organization. So with this, I don't have to struggle. You know, if I don't have this acronym, okay, what are the techniques? Okay. Then I'll even say organization and say organization again, forgetting I just said it.
You know, it's actually happened to me before in economics back in Wesley Girls. So, what do you call it? There's an abbreviation that I had to learn. And then the abbreviation, the acronym was SCOTTPL. SCOTTPL. So, now statement, the first one, statement. Then the TT. Now, I forgot. I mixed it up, but it has to be in order. So although I remembered the first 3 parts, when it got to the double T's, my brain mixed it up.
Which one comes first?
Which one comes
first? So here
first?
you use a strategy you tie that one to something. So that could use a strategy.
Okay.
So the one that comes, if it has to do is S, you could add some small S, you tie it to something, you know, you picture that in your head. You know, imagination is very powerful. It's also something that you could use. Because I'll tell you this, your brain doesn't know the difference between what you have imagined and what has actually happened. Let me say this again.
Is it?
Man.
No, your brain
it
doesn't know the difference between what you have imagined and what has actually happened. So I can imagine being in England doing great things. My brain doesn't know I'm not in England. If I can imagine that strongly, my brain will start to act like I'm in England. How come you have a dream and you sweat? Was it happening?
No.
Your brain thought was happening.
Yeah.
You were running your dream and you get up sweating, but you were not running.
Yeah.
So that's something that one secret, if you know about the mind, I use that a lot. If I want to do something, even coming here, I imagine being here, doing great things with you guys. So when I get here, my brain thinks I've been here already. That becomes experience.
And that's it.
Is that what causes deja vu?
Sometimes.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, because that can be also another.
So it's powerful. This brain, I keep talking about it, it's super powerful.
Wow.
And when you step into that, the mind is different from the brain, but the two work together. You know, when we have the time, I will basically differentiate the two.
Okay.
You know, but the brain is not the mind is not the brain, but the two work together. You know, but brain is connected to the mind because it's big. That's how I keep telling nobody's dumb.
Yes.
Because they've got the mind, not just the brain. The mind is connected to a greater force, infinite intelligence. Call it God. The mind is part of God. That makes humans super powerful. You know, super powerful. So there's a lot we can do. Now let's get back to this. So I think we are learning some tips and tricks. So the imagination thing, they could use it. Before they get into the exam hall, they have to imagine. So they sit down quietly, imagine how they want the exam to go. how they are writing, they are answering the questions confidently, how they are happy, they have to imagine that. So I wrote this code, be there before you get there.
Okay.
So in my quietness, I'll think about, imagine, meditate on how things should go in the exam hall, answering all the questions and all that confidently. I do like 10 minutes. When I get there, my mind thinks I've already been there. So when I start, it's like experience. Experience brings confidence, So they could use these simple tricks to calm their nerves and build confidence.
So at a point where your brain imagines it, you get there, and there are certain circumstances that are happening around you that are totally opposite what you had imagined. How do you maneuver that? So
you need to understand the environment. So again, when that happens, what you imagine, you need to picture. So usually I tell the people, you need to go there and see how the environment is. So some of them, they might even go to their centers.
Yeah.
Just go around, familiarize yourself with the environment. Look around. So when I'm imagining, I know exactly what I need to feed my mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's way better, because when you go there and things have actually changed, you need to have, be able to rewire the brain.
Yes.
But that's still in your control. You can still rewire the brain, Because the environment is very powerful. Some people can perform well in their own small corner, but when you put them on stage,
it's a different thing.
Totally different.
So you need to if you could bring the environment with you. Again, another trick is, even though I'm there and things have actually changed, I could imagine still being in my comfort zone. I'm not there. My brain wouldn't know. So if I'm solving questions in my comfort zone, in my room, confidently, I'm happy, I could bring that environment with me in there.
Okay.
Picture that.
Okay.
My brain wouldn't feel the different environment.
The
things we are still in that environment, solving our questions confidently, because if you could bring the environment, the brain will work properly for you. So these are some of the simple things. If you know about the mind, you do great things. Yes.
So what next do we go to?
Yes. So we've done the organization.
Yeah.
Let's do more of etymology. We've done photosynthesis. Now it might be too late for some of them because the time is too short.
Yeah.
But the best way for you to keep digging up the root of words, where they come from. Look at this word, philo. You see philo in many of the things. It's a forming word. So you see something like philomath, trying to understand what it means. I just have to break it. Philo means love. It came from the word philia. So if I understand this philomath, it's somebody who loves learning. So I see another word, phylogeny. I know philo, love. So love will be in there, obviously. Gene is connected to woman. Gynecology. Gyno, genie. So if I say phylogeny, lover of women. Oh. No, it's not him.
Absolutely.
Admirer.
Absolutely.
No, but admirer of women. Here we will admire women, isn't it?
I like
it. But admiring is different from the other thing that maybe a Sidwa is thinking of. We admire women.
They try to make me love women. And I like it.
So that's another word. There's another word form where miso. Miso is the opposite. Hatred.
Okay.
So somebody who hates women, we call him misogyny. Or misogynist.
Yeah. That's where that's from.
So if you could understand the root, you could tie it to a lot of things. Another word is oligo. Oligo means few. And you see oligo actually forming other words like oligopoly.
Okay.
If you go to marketing, we use something like oligopoly. You have monopoly.
Yeah.
Oligopoly is oligo means few. So few people in the market enjoying.
Oh.
So dominance, few people are dominating the market. That's oligopoly. If I understand this, why should I take oligopoly and start oligopoly? No. I break it down, get the concept. It stays with you for a very long time. So these are some of the simple tricks. Now let's go to some of the things they could do to train the mind as they walk into the exam hall. I want to start with sleep. So that part is very, very important.
Right.
People don't sleep.
Before you guys tell me, start.
Yeah.
People don't know. After they sleep, it's
They
very, very,
don't
very
sleep. It's wrong to do that. And I'll tell you why. Sleep is good for learning. And the time for sleep, you need to stick to it. You need to sleep early. When you know the why, doing gets easier. So I'll tell you why. When you sleep early, around 9 or 10, there's a part in your brain called pineal gland. It releases hormones. One of them is melatonin. Melatonin will help you to sleep better. It comes around 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. So if you are sleeping late, you are not getting enough.
Yeah.
Do you get it now? So you need to sleep early so you can fall into deep sleep. What is the essence of deep sleep? When you fall into deep sleep, that is when your brain will go to work on consolidating all the things you've learned. When you learn, it goes to something we call hippocampus, if you paid attention or use some of these strategies. So all the things I've taught you is gone to your hippocampus. It's a temporary storage unit. For it to go to the long-term storage unit or long-term unit, it will work through sleep. It will happen through sleep. So when you are sleeping, it will transport, like a courier service happening when you are sleeping. It will transport information from the temporary unit called the hippocampus to the long-term unit called neocortex. And when the information is in your neocortex, this is a record of the past. So if the information is in your neocortex, it will just come to you like that. And it happens when you are sleeping. Because this same pineal gland releases something called epithalamic. That is what will help the process. And also comes around between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. So if you're not sleeping well, you are not getting enough of these chemicals to help you form strong memories. You sleep late, not getting it. It's not just that. You be under stress. Because if you don't get enough sleep, what happens? You're under stress. Because when you're under stress or under fear or anxiety, your heart works out of order, out of rhythm. So you see, when you're under fear, what happens? Boom, 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 boom. Your heart is working out of rhythm. And when your heart is working out of rhythm, your brain is also working out of rhythm. It's not working properly. So when you go in there, you're under stress, it's difficult for the memories to come to you because the brain is not working properly. And again, when you're under fear, the same thing happens. I call it the examo gulf of delivery. Very, very painful. Prepared well, you get there, stress, fear, information doesn't come to you. So what you prepared, there's a disparity. Gulf means disparity. There's a disparity between your preparation and what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, that's very, very painful. You know, so it would be better to sleep early, go to bed. You have the same number of hours. Go to bed early. You know, wake up early.
So when you wake up around 3 a.m.
3 a.m. or
is it
even
okay
4:30 is good.
Okay.
You know, at that wee hours of the day, your brain finds itself in this brain wave called alpha. Alpha is a creative state. So you become more, that's how come early, you become more creative. When you study early or when you start thinking, when you wake up, more ideas come to you because your mind is in alpha state. It's a creative state. So when you take that to your books, you understand more.
Right.
You understand more. These are things we need to know to do great things. You understand more. You can retain more. It's calm. And again, you can pay attention. You know that attention is the father of learning. If you're not paying attention, nothing goes in. So at that time,
no distractions.
You can pay a lot of attention. Wesley girls, do you know you guys sleep more?
We do.
And you pass.
We sleep
you do
a lot. Yeah, we sleep a lot.
Because they understand this.
Yeah. 9 o'clock to 5 a.m.
goes to bed, yes.
And then rest are between the hours of 2 and 3 p.m.
They sleep a lot. Go to other schools, they don't sleep.
No.
But the results will come. Wesley girls.
Yeah.
You know, so sleep is very, very powerful. I'm glad I had the time to talk about it. So they have to sleep early, wake up early. They have to prioritize sleep. It's very, very important. The next one is exercise. Very, very powerful. When you exercise, PFC, prefrontal cortex, is improved. You know, if you can watch, when you even exercise, your pupil surrounding the iris surrounds, the eye is in the middle, the iris is around it. It will get dilated. When it gets dilated, it improves your prefrontal cortex, which is the CEO of your brain.
Oh.
The executive. So this one dictates a lot. So I could show you white, and focus on white. You see a lot of white. Even when you see red, you wouldn't even recognize it. The PFC knows what you want. So it will now give you evidence, will bring you more of the things you want. That's how come
so it will make you see that.
See them more. So that's how come we tell people, have a go. So that it knows exactly what you want.
Yeah.
God will even tell you, make your vision plain. So that God knows exactly what you are looking for.
Right.
So that He will bring that to you. So the same thing here. The mind imitates or mimics God. This mind is part of God. So it tries to mimic God. So it works just like how God works. Wow. So the same thing. When He knows exactly what you want, in the brain, prefrontal cortex is now looking for evidence, looking for things, showing you the things you want, trying to help you get it. So we can exercise to improve this one, and also improves memory. When this one is activated, it improves memory learning. So when you exercise and you go behind the book, you understand better, you retain more. And again, it improves neurogenesis. Neurogenesis, if you break it down, neurogenesis. Neuro is tied to brain. Genesis, giving birth. So giving birth to more neurons. So when I exercise, I'm creating more neurons in my brains. And when you have more neurons, when I learn, I have a lot to tie. They connect more. Yeah. The network shows the strength of your brain, So it gives birth to more neurons. And again, plasticity, neuroplasticity, it can help in the reorganization of the mind to suit your needs. Exercise is super powerful.
Wow.
There's something called myelin sheath. When the memory is formed, the neurons, they connect, There's some coating around the neurons. It's called myelin sheath. You see the wire has a coating. When it breaks, what happens? Put it in there, it won't work, or work a little bit funny, exactly So that when that coating is strong, information will speed to you. And it happens through exercise.
So what are the kind of exercises that they can do?
Good. Best one, racket sports, but that might be difficult for them. Tennis, table tennis, they might not have the time. But a simple one is jumping, rebounding. If you have a rebounder in your house, that's good. If you haven't got it, in the book I talked about Gordish leaps. Just get up and imagine you skipping. If you haven't got a skip rope, you just imagine, because your brain doesn't know you haven't got it. Just imagine you having a skip rope in your hand. Go like that, jump, 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 for just 5 minutes. Good. You have more blood flowing to the brain, more oxygen flowing to the brain. Good for cognitive function. So you could also walk, jog a little bit. Do push-ups. Exercise, any form will be good for the brain, because when your body moves, your brain improves. So they could do these simple things. And still talking about how to improve the mind, don't forget water. Okay. Hydration, super powerful. So you need to stay hydrated. Why? Because your brain is 75% water. So you get in there, make sure you're properly hydrated, but don't do too much, because other than that, you have to be getting up to pee. Yeah. So make sure during the day you have enough, or previous day you had enough. When you wake up, you drink water, before the paper, you drink a little bit. If they give you the chance to come out, you could also sip on something small, and get back in. It's good for the brain. Other than that, you could, after the exercise, you could do coconut water. It's super for rehydration. Super for rehydration. Nothing beats it in terms of rehydration. So you could, in the morning after your exercise, you could get your coconut water, drink it. It's good. It will keep you hydrated, for the morning paper, and that'll be good for you.
So can you get into the bush right after the exercise?
Get into?
Like start learning after exercise?
Yes, right after the exercise, you rest for some few, just to recover, regain your energy, for like 5 minutes. Go to your book. I'm telling you, you read and things will come to you, because your neurons are activated. Exercise is powerful. Exercise is powerful. Another one is diet. They need to check their diet. You know, I keep saying your brain is a reflection of your lifestyle and also a reflection of your diet. They need to check what they eat. When you get in there, what you eat could also dictate how information speaks to you.
Okay.
Because what you feed the mind with is what it takes to perform. You know, if it's too heavy, trying to digest it, attention will go to digestion. You know, but you need the mind to work on information. But it also has to, so divided attention. So that's how come when you become light, you do great things.
Yeah.
So if it's an early morning paper, it would be better for you to go light. You know, now these days, even breakfast, you could push it to like 10 a.m.
Yes.
You don't necessarily have to do
like
breakfast around 7.
Yeah.
No? You know, there's something called intermittent fasting, super, you know, for the brain. You know, you give it more time so that it can do its work, you know. So they have to check what they eat. They have to be light. And you talked about it the other time.
Yes.
You need to do more fruits and vegetables, you know. So do your cucumbers.
No Hausa
do your
cocoa
carrots.
and mori cocoa.
Oh, they could do Hausa cocoa, but not too much.
So what of mori cocoa?
Not too much.
Not too
Moderation.
much.
Yeah,
Moderation.
they do it too much.
Yes.
Yeah, so you,
Then they'll be sleeping on the
yeah, so
road.
you need to you need to make sure you go light. You know, so when you are light, your mind is elevated because your mind is like a spirit. I told you the mind is different from the brain. It's metaphysical. It's like a spirit. So when you are light, it's elevated. You know, it can work better than when you are heavy. You know, you put in too much food in there. You know, digestion is going on. You know, it can affect cognitive ability when you are in there. So they need to check what they eat. If it's an early morning paper, go light. Afternoon paper, make sure you take your lunch early. Heavy, you could go early, you know. And even around between 12 and 2, bowel is working properly, so it can digest the food.
Okay.
You eat like how the sun shines.
I think that's the reason why, or could it be the reason?
You get to know?
Yeah.
So how does it come?
Yeah.
Slowly. In the morning, in the afternoon is intense.
Yes.
Around in the evening, it goes down a little bit. So that's how you eat. In the morning, it has to be that light. In the afternoon, it could be heavy because the body can't digest it. You know, in the evening, go light again. So share your food in the evening.
And I'm thinking, most of these kids who are in the, deprived areas, they're very intelligent.
Yeah.
Because they're not getting enough food to eat. So almost every time they are lighter when they learn.
Right.
You see,
No, it's true. Most of
the type of foods they eat.
The type of
more
food.
fruit and vegetables.
Yeah.
They will go for the mangoes.
The mango, the pawpaw.
The pawpaw, yeah.
And these guys are very intelligent.
Very
You're like, he's
But
in the village.
but you don't
Why
understand.
is somebody in the village is so intelligent
And the
like
guy
that?
in the city is eating,
Pizza,
burgers, sausages,
Crazy.
Sugar too is not good for the mind. Too much sugar. It suppresses the power of the mind.
Oh, now I get it.
Too much sugar. Suppresses the
So
power
there's
of the
just some small kid in some village, and he's very intelligent, he's past very, and then the one in the city is
drinking
struggling.
Coke, love Coke, after every meal Coke.
Yeah.
Not good for the mind.
I see.
Not good for the mind. So in the book, I talked about all these things. I talk about foods that you have to eat, things you have to do to improve the mind. I talk about the strategies in there. So it's a good book. I love it. I love even reading all the time. It has a lot in there.
Yeah.
It talks about the mind. It talks about how to train the mind. It talks about the techniques, the strategies. There's motivation in there. My personal story is in there. But I won't tell you. Unless you read the book. It's in there, but I don't
May
want to...
may I have it, please?
I
don't want to talk about it.
If you just joined in here, Godwin Apple is here with us this morning. We're learning, yes. We're learning so much, especially for the kids who are going to write the exams. If you're watching right now, I'm sure you've also learned so much this morning that you can use to your own advantage writing the BECE. It's not easy. Let no one kid you. It's not because you see the point is what you don't have you can give. If you don't have anything here, you can give it out. You understand? So it's not easy. You need to go through the process, and that's a fact. All right, but there are easier ways you can go through the process, so it helps you, achieve whatever goal you want to achieve for yourself. So
can we talk about what they could do in there, what they have to do, the do's and don'ts? I think that could also help them. We may not have much time.
We'll be looking at a day before.
Yes. So let's go to a day before.
A day
when you have
before,
to
yeah, because it's
so
when people are so.
We go a day before. We go
crazy.
During and after.
Okay.
To help them.
Yeah.
The whole process. Okay, let's go day before. It's in the book actually.
Got it before you get into that, there are some messages, so let's take them. K from Pond General Mankraso. Happy Founders Day, KMJ and your crew. Ghana will surely bounce back under this administration. My greetings to Honorable Francis Menu Adapo Ahafo Ano South East MP.
Bouncing back in the check.
So
whatever it is. Yeah, I'm okay with bouncing back, but
some of us will sit in front of our book and the next minute we are dozing. We get up to sleep and the sleep vanish like thin air. These are
I got this message to on TikTok.
Oh, okay. It's actually true. Next one. Hello, Prime Morning. Can you ask the lecturer if some people are born to always be last in class? No. Because there are some people, no matter how long they study for, they still fail. It's not true.
I had a feeling like that.
Esiedwa and KMJ looking gorgeous as always. Thank you very much. Please ask him why some people will study. We study with, pass, but we fail. We sometimes do group studies, but the results for the exams will come out and some will pass for others to fail. Belinda from Tafo. This last one is very interesting. Group studies.
It's true. We are learning the same things.
We are all learning the same things. We are all suggesting the same things. We are hearing, you're trying to listen to how your friend understands this particular topic. You're trying to remember, you're trying to retain all that. The exam time comes, you go sit behind the paper. Oh, this one, yeah, I remember. We talked about it in the group. Oh, let me start writing. And it comes, you're totally wrong. What happened?
Group studies, super. It's very good. The C in the Rakupuro stands for confirmation effect. You've been taught in class. So when you go into that group, you hear it from a different source. When your mind hears something from a different source, it will treat it as fact. So I'll tell you something, then it hears it from a different person. Once it's hearing from another person or a different source, means this is very important. I need to find a way to file it away safely. So when I jump into the group study and I've learnt already or heard it in class and it's being repeated by my mate, my brain will retain it better. So I encourage group studies for the student. Discuss is good. But you need to know yourself. Some people are naturally talented. I won't dispute that fact. Naturally talented because the brain network in the area of learning is already formed. But you have to put in extra work because yours is not formed. It's not too late for you. You can still make yours also strong. But you need to work on it. But don't forget, you also have got something they haven't got. There are different types of intelligence. There's academic intelligence. So some people have got it naturally. There's spatial intelligence. Messi is spatially intelligent. Give him the space, he will dribble everybody. That's spatial intelligence. But maybe Messi might not be good in the classroom. So there are different types of intelligence. So if yours is not academic, you have to work on it. And that's why you need the strategies. These people, the strategies, it comes to them naturally. There was a guy in my class back in the day. I went to Prempeh College. I was the school prefect actually.
Okay.
I went to where we are.
Amanfo.
Yes, I went to Prempeh College, and there was a guy called Asante. He was first. He was always first in our class. When he's learning, I was watching. He would use his finger to read. I didn't understand. Now, when I go into the mind, I now understand. When you use your finger, it helps you pay attention. Because your eyes will go to where movement is actually going. So
if you flip, you're losing
so your eye is just watching, and it will make the brain attentive. So it will help you pay attention. I told you, if you're not paying attention, nothing goes in. So if you could be present with the data, with the information, it goes in straight into your long-term memory. So we need to find out these techniques. So you need to know yourself. When you go and jump into the SG, some people, when they hear it, they'll get it. But you know yourself. You need to use some of the strategies, use these ones, and to stay with you. Don't just say that everybody, we just did this, so we all remember. If you have to do extra, do extra.
Okay, so I was. Thank you for saying that because I was going to ask: is there anything like oh, as for me, I take longer in understanding something very short, something very simple. Is there anything like that?
Yeah, there is, but you can change it.
Okay.
There is, but you can change it over time. I always say it starts with motivation. Whenever you are motivated to do something, you are enthusiastic, from the word enthusiasm. It came from the word enthusiasm, which means inspired by a God. It's very powerful. So when you show enthusiasm, you become like a God. And it has to happen for you. So Ralph Waldo Emerson said this one, nothing great has ever been achieved without enthusiasm. And it's true. Nothing great on this earth has ever been achieved without enthusiasm. So if you want to do great things, if you want to learn, also have that sharp mind, first be enthusiastic. Show strong interest.
Okay.
Wanted, intention, attention and intention, the AI factor, attention and intention. Be intentional about it. I want this. I want this. Be persistent. Show grit. I want this. It will come. Because I told you, when you show that PFC knows exactly what you want, will start to look for it and connect to a bigger force. If it can't find it, it connects to a bigger force. So it goes beyond the brain, connect to the mind. Mind also can't get the answer. Connect to a bigger force, infinite intelligence, to bring it to you. That's how come everything is theory. Enthusiasm, theo. Theo stands for God. It means God. Theo. So now goes to theo to bring it to you. So if you could show enthusiasm,
Everything that he's saying, all I'm thinking about is scientists unknowingly associate everything with God.
Yeah.
But some majority of them make it seem like there's no God. Everything is already existent.
Yeah.
But with the terms that they have,
the terms
always connected.
It's connected to God. The
him.
terms they have. So if you do etymology, you understand a lot.
And I think enthusiasm is key.
Super.
And it's a typical example is what happened in the World Cup. In the finals, or maybe in the quarterfinals, almost everybody wanted the cup. From Mbappe to whoever. But you realize that there was something about Messi none of the other guys had.
Yeah.
He had actually pegged a certain result for himself already.
His reasons were compelling.
And he was very, and I'll use your word, enthusiastic about having the World Cup in his hands.
Yeah.
So whilst many of them know that, we want to make our country proud, he wanted to make himself proud.
Yeah.
So he was very extremely enthusiastic about holding the trophy. And so he just kept going. Even when they are down, all he knew is, I want to hold this trophy and none other person. And eventually he had it.
Yeah. Let me also answer the guy who will sit behind the book and start sleeping.
Oh, that one, plenty.
All right, so number one reason is intention. Your intention dictates your attitude. So if you are sitting behind the book, your intention is to get past 40. The mind will go to work on just that.
At least if I get 40%, I'm okay.
But look at this guy. I'm looking for 85. Do you think the guy, even when he's dozing over, will allow?
No.
The power is in your hands.
Yeah.
You have the power. Okay, that's how come you were given something called will. It's part of your soul. Will, mind, and emotions. That makes your soul. Will is the master, and it's given to you. Mind wants to sleep. That's the mind. You have emotion intelligence. You have the rational mind as well. Emotional mind says, I want to sleep, Rational mind says, it's not good to sleep. Now you need to come to the wise mind, which is the will. It will now judge. What do you want to do? No, we can't sleep because of intentions. We have to get this one done. And once you switch to that, that is what will happen. But there are other things you could also do apart from intention. You could do something called the Wonder Woman pose. Okay, if you're feeling sleepy a little bit, just get up a little bit. If you want to exercise, you can also exercise. If you don't want to exercise, maybe exercise will disturb other people. Just do the Wonder Woman pose. Open up your legs, hold your waist for just 2 minutes.
It works?
Wonder Woman pose.
Wonder Woman pose. So you stand like this, feel confident for just 2 minutes. Here's the science part. If you do this, your level of cortisol, which is a stress hormone, will be reduced by 25%. So your stress will be going down. and your level of testosterone, which is like a confidence hormone, will be increased by 20%. And your risk appetite will be increased by 33%.
Wow.
So bottom line, it gives
You're
you
winning.
energy
Yeah.
for just 2 minutes. So maybe when I'm done, after 2 minutes, it's fire.
Wow.
Because I'm getting energy back, you know. So there are simple things we can know and do to do great things in any area beyond academia. You know, any goal you have, you could use these ones. That's how come I love this book. If you take what you want, your goal as an exam, and use all the principles, you get
You win, yeah.
You get it. These are things I've actually basically used to do great things, you know, in many areas. I'm also an entrepreneur. I've got a sawmill. You know, I do manufacturers. I tell people I'm a gentleman carpenter. When the mind grows, opportunities will grow around you.
Yeah.
You know, so it's vitally important we train this mind.
Yeah.
You know, not just.
Buddy, there's a very interesting question for you. My kid sister is 11 years and loves reading a lot, but my granny always complains too much reading is bad for her health. What do I tell my granny?
That's quite controversial, but we need to break it down and understand it.
Okay.
How is she doing it? If she's doing the wrong way, we talked about it. If she learns without a break, that's not healthy. And here's why. If you learn without a break, stress.
Yes.
You'll be under stress. You know, over time, chronic diseases, musculoskeletal disorder, your back, you have back pains. It's not even good for your eyes.
Yeah.
That's how come the 30-7-7 is best. Nothing beats it. You do little, you take some rest. You do little, you take some rest. You know, and again, the timing might be wrong. Studying late into the night, you know, but too much reading is never bad, but how you are doing it will make it bad, you know. But if you do it the right way, it's good. So I keep saying this: work well and rest well, you know. So they are working well, but they are also resting well. So they balance it. Everything has to be balanced, you know. So your brain. Some people also think when you read too much, you go mad, you go nuts. You know, it's never true because your brain is plastic. It can stretch all the way.
I've heard it countlessly.
Yeah.
There are some madmen that you meet on the street.
It's
not true. It's not true. There's
It's
something
not
more
true.
to that. Yeah, there's something more to that. Not just learning. There's nothing more. Because your brain can stretch. Because the more you put in, the bigger it becomes.
So intelligence doesn't make anybody mad?
No. It makes you better.
Oh.
And what you call madness, or I would call it weirdness, is greatness. Is what it takes to achieve greatness. You can't be normal to achieve great things.
Yeah.
You have to be weird. And that's what many people might call madness.
Yeah.
Einstein was weird.
Yes.
All these people, great people, they were weird. I'm weird. Because my friends, they look at me, I'm weird. If you come and see the things I do in the morning, I'm super weird. But I do in my small corner, you know, because it takes some of these things, meditation, you know, imagination. You know, sometimes I train my tongue. You know, I'm talking to myself, called monologic teaching. I teach to myself. You know, if I want to go and teach, I teach it to myself first. When I do that, I'm engaging, I'm having a dialogue with my subconscious mind. And it gives me more information. So after the session, I learn more. My subconscious mind gives me more information. So if I knew A, B, C, D, after the session, I'll know A, B, C, D, E, F. It will give me more information.
Can we come to what reading a lot of storybooks does to the mind?
Super.
Super.
Read. Look at read. Break it down. Read. Read means re-add. Look at read.
Yeah.
Re-add.
Okay.
So whenever you read, you are re-adding to your brain.
Okay.
You know, so if you could read more storybooks, you get more information and you have more ideas. You know, so when it even comes to association, you have a lot to tie with.
Right.
Yeah, because your mind is, storybooks, your mind is just going everywhere. So if I learn something, I can easily connect to something I read, you know, that becomes a trigger for me. So the more information you have, the better the network. And the better the network, the stronger your brain.
Okay, let's move on to the next message. Happy Founders Day, Prime Morning. It looks like some of us, we are not born to pass mathematics because no matter how we study for that subject, we still fail. You can divide our heads and insert the subjects there, and the next minute we don't remember a single formula. Math isn't just my thing, perhaps. It's not a lot of people's thing.
You see what he wrote in there? He has now accepted his limitation. So I wrote this: when you accept your limitations, when you pamper your limitation, they will love to stay with you forever.
Right.
When I pamper a seed will love to stay with me forever.
Yes.
What you pamper will love to stay with you. So you don't pamper your limitations. He has to fight it. You know. Now there's something called dyscalculia. Dyscalculia means somebody who finds it difficult to work maths. You know, it's a
the word again.
Dyscalculia.
Dyscalculia.
Dyscalculia. You have dyslexia.
Okay.
Writing. So when it comes to maths, it's dyscalculia. You know, when it comes to writing, it's called dysgraphia. Dysgraphia. They can't write. Some people can't write. You know, it's a condition. But if you work, I keep saying this, your mind is powerful than your brain. So if you keep training the brain and you become more intentional, it has to open up to push this one aside. You know, so math, number one, he has to be intentional about it, show enthusiasm. Don't say it's not my thing. I am poor in maths. I am is a powerful, pithy phrase. Whatever you put behind I am becomes your destiny. So if you say I'm poor in maths, it becomes your destiny. If you say I'm broke, I'm poor, I'm not rich, I am is powerful. So you check what you put behind it. So why not put positive things behind I am? So he now has to say, I am good in maths. I am good in maths. I am good in maths. This is biblical, isn't it? Let the weak say,
I am strong.
Let the poor say,
I am rich.
They are poor, but they say I'm strong. Because I told you, your mind doesn't know the difference between what you have imagined
and reality.
So the mind thinks, if you keep saying, I am rich, the mind thinks you are rich. So he has to find a way to make you rich. You know, so now he has to say, I am good in maths, and show enthusiasm, and use some of the tips that we are talking about, and work on his gaps. Problem in maths is gaps. Foundation. So look for foundational maths and work these ones. If you could work change of subject, these are the building blocks. Change of subject. You know, your percentages, work these ones. Small set, fractions, work these ones out. Integers, work these. These are the building blocks of the bigger things that we learn. If you could master these ones, maths becomes easy. I was suffering from that. You know, maths wasn't my thing in JHS. But my target was to get 12 ones. But I wasn't one of the sharpest. I wasn't part of the sharpest people in the school. You know, so if you count, if 20 people get it, I wouldn't be in there.
Whoa.
I said I'll get it. But my problem was maths and English. Brofo nedin pa.
If you got rid of.
But I had to make a goal to work on it. So I started studying the dictionary, looking for words, learning new words. Then later I realized it's not about knowing words. It's about knowing the phrasing of the words.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
But that helped, you know. So when I got to some time and my brain stretched, now I remembered knowing more words also helped.
It helped.
Because that's another trick. If you want to train the brain, know more words. The more words you put in there, it stretches. So I keep telling the youth, make sure you learn one new word every blessed day. And I still do that. I learn one new word every blessed day. Today my word is mortify. Mortify came from the word mort. Mortis stands for dead. You know, so mortuary. Mortal. You know, dead. So mortify, to kill the flesh, mortify the flesh. Deny something. You know, that's mortify. So, you know, I have tied it to something, so now it's in there. Strong.
It sticks.
That's it.
Right. Okay. So let's take our next message. Is there any secret behind people who learn and pray? Because we had a girl in our class. She will learn just like for 45 minutes to an hour, and then she will go and pray. Meanwhile, we will sit for hours, and she will still take the first position. I mean, Gotti has basically said this right from the beginning. Yeah.
Great.
The next one. Oh, okay. I now get why this weird boy in my class would just get up during prep and would do that thing the lecturer called Wonder Woman pose.
Wow.
I never knew he's up to something. That's weird. You know, but the funny thing, you see, Gotti mentioned that, you know, some of the techniques comes naturally with some people. And you wonder, okay, so this person was doing this in class. Oh, he's weird. I'm not going to do it. Let me just be focused and study. But then that person would pass, and then you would, you know, not have any better results.
So
but then they already knew these things.
There's always a method behind the magic. So you watch the method behind the magic. Do the same method, and you also do magical things.
Right.
So we're actually deceiving us. They will learn us when they can't really put
Yeah,
we have people like that. We have people like that.
If you don't learn, how can you pass?
You ought to learn.
They're all learning.
Yeah.
And they were more enthusiastic. The word again.
Yeah.
You know, even on vacation, they are learning. But on vacation, you are playing football. You wouldn't even pick the book. Oh, on holidays, on vacation, you don't even learn again. You know, but even on vacation, they are reading their books. Wesley girls, they keep reading. You know, Premier College, we love to read, though, but sometimes on vacation we don't read. we go chase women.
Exactly.
You know, but you look at all these, but the smart ones were learning.
Yeah.
They were learning. Before the class, they'll make sure they go through what we have to cover. So before the semester, they pick the books and go through them during vacation. So when they come to the classroom, it's confirmation effect. They hear it again, the mind is hearing it again, repetition. So they are forming strong memories. You are now forming that memory. So they are strengthening their memories. You are now forming the memory.
So they're always ahead of you.
Ahead of you.
Exactly.
But let's talk about the praying thing. You know, prayer also works on the mind. Because you are opting things out. Whatever comes out comes back to you. You know, that's how come teaching is very powerful. So that's another trick. If you want to retain something, teach it to somebody. You know, because when I teach, it's a form of giving. And when you give, it comes back to you. Whatever you give comes back to you. So when I teach, I get to learn it twice. So I've already learned it. It comes out of me. When things are coming out of you, your mind takes it seriously. That's how come you say your words are powerful. So if I'm teaching somebody, the content is now coming out of you. And when something comes out of you, your mind also thinks it's yours. It's never yours until you say it. True or false? Because your words, they say your words, watch your words. When the policeman gets you, watch your words. Your words could basically get you into trouble. So watch
anything
what you say.
Anything you say can be used against you in the court of law.
Yeah. So you need to watch your words. And again, writing, also powerful. What you write is also credited to you. You know, so when you are learning, you are writing. You know the information, but when you write, it's different from the mind, for the mind. Because once you are writing, the mind thinks, now it is yours. This is yours. That's how come you are writing it. So it strengthens the information.
Right. Oh, I've learned a lot, and I hope that you have learned a lot as well. For those of you that are prepping or, you know, preparing to go write the BECE, I hope that you've learned a lot from Gotti this morning. The 37-7 strategy, you learn for 30 minutes, you take a break, you review, you go through your points, and then the whole Wonder Woman pose.
Yeah, very, very
eating
necessary.
of fruits and vegetables, being hydrated, exercising. He's not saying that, you know, do anything vigorous, but then just jumping, imagining you're holding, you know, you're jumping rope. Just do that, just to help, you know, the brain activity and everything.
And sleep well.
And sleep well. Sleep well.
Don't sleep at 12 midnight.
Stop learning in the middle of the night, trying to grasp everything within a short period. It won't work. Upon an ember. Okay. So, Gotti Afo, thank you so much for being here this morning. Briefly before you go, anything you want to share?
And please get the book.
Yes.
Get the book. This is the book, okay?
So all the things I'm talking about,
they're all in here.
And more.
Everything is here.
And more examples.
It's here.
So how to, the thing that we wanted to talk about before, during, and after, they're all in the book.
Okay.
But during, when you are in there, make sure you focus on your paper. Don't be looking at what other people are doing. It will get you distracted. And again, find a way to calm your nerves. You know, find a way to calm. You could do the Wonder Woman pose before you get in. You know, when you get in there, imagine you being in your own small corner, writing the exam. Don't be scared. You know, plan. That's something they have to do. Plan. You need to take your time and go through all the questions. Select them before you start answering. We don't do that. Question 1 or 2. The start, it was my cut off. You don't. So take your time, plan, and jot down your major points for all the questions you answer. Just 10 minutes, do all that. Once the point is down, nothing will take it away.
You take your time and just elaborate.
That's it.
Okay.
You know. So these are some of the simple. Then all of them are in the book. If you get it.
Where can we get it though?
Any Papa's Pizza branch in Accra.
Okay.
Kumasi, if you call us 0243 792515, or you could WhatsApp 0209 661100. 0209 661100.
Godiafo, thank you very much. Now, Godiafo is a memory trainer, and he's been very, very helpful. And this conversation has been very insightful. And thank you all for the messages. Keep sending in your messages. We'll definitely read them.